Okay, so I'm going to go through the final exam review for conic sections. This was Unit J. So the first part is just writing equations. And so we want to make sure that we can do that. So the formula for a circle is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, which will equal r squared. So this will be x plus 7 squared plus y plus 7 squared equals 36. That's it. The formulas will be given to you on the final exam, but just make sure that you are very familiar with them. So for example, this is an ellipse. There are two formulas for an ellipse, one with a horizontal major axis and a vertical major axis. So looking at these points, the vertices have the same y-coordinate. So if they have the same y-coordinate, just with different x values, they go like this. So this is a horizontal major axis. So we're going to have x minus h squared over a squared. This is an ellipse, so plus y minus k squared over b squared equals 1. So the center of this, which is h comma k, that's going to be the midpoint here. So the y value is going to be the same. So this is going to be y minus 9. But the x value, we have to take what's midway between 0 and negative 10. So we average the two, and we get negative 5. So this is x plus 5. A squared is the distance from the center, which is, so the center is at negative 5, 9. That's the distance from the center to either vertex. So A is equal to 5, so 5 squared is 25. We don't know B, but we can see from the distance from the center to a focus is, so from negative 5, so this is 3, distance of 3. We know that a squared minus b squared is equal to c squared. We get that 25 minus b squared is equal to c squared, which is 9. So b squared is equal to 16. And that's going to be our formula. Next up is a parabola. So we want to make sure that we can write this in vertex form. So we actually need to start with, well, first off, we need to figure out which direction this opens. So negative 43, negative 8, or negative 43 over 8, this is just a little bit larger than 5. If you think about negative 40 over 8 being 5, this is just a little bit bigger. So the vertex is here. So this is negative 5 point something. So this actually opens just like this because the x values are the same. So this opens down. So this means that we have a vertical axis. So we're going to start actually with standard form. I'm going to have x minus h squared is equal to 4p times y minus k. The x and the h are given to us. So we see that we have x plus 4 squared is equal to 4 times p times y plus 5. So we just need p. Well, p is the difference between these two. So p is equal to negative 43 over 8 minus a negative 40 over 8, right? Because this is 5 is 40 over 8. So we get p is equal to 3/8. So then that means that we're going to have 12 over 8, or this is 3 over 2. So we get x plus 4 squared is equal to 3 over 2 times y plus 5. I actually have the answers here, so let me just cheat and check. Yep. So then the whole idea of what I need to do next, because this is in standard form, I need to get it into vertex form. Well, in order to get this into vertex form, I just have to solve for y. So actually what I'm going to do is, oh, I'm sorry, p is, because this goes downwards, right? P is negative, so this is negative. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 2/3. So I get negative 2/3 x plus 4 squared is equal to y plus 5. And then we're just going to subtract 5 from both sides. So I get that y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 4 squared minus 5. That's it. It's nice and simple. So all you have to do is find p and then solve for either x or y, depending on this is horizontal or vertical. And lastly is a hyperbola. This is very similar to the ellipse. So noticing that our vertices have the same x value for this hyperbola, this means that this transverse axis is vertical. So for a vertical transverse axis, the formula is y minus k squared over a squared minus x minus h squared over b squared is equal to 1. The center is going to be, again, hk. So x, the h is going to be plus 9. Well, technically h is this negative 9, but because it is minus h, we're going to have this is plus 9. So this is negative 9. And then the y value is going to be the average of these two. So we add them together, and we actually get negative 18. And so negative 18 divided by 2 is negative 9. So this is also plus 9. Now a is the distance from the center to a vertex. So if we go to either direction, it's a movement of 4 in the y direction. So a squared is going to be 16. We don't know b squared, but we can see that c is going to be equal to 5. And we have that c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. So 25 is equal to 16 plus b squared. So b squared is equal to 9. And that is it. Okay. So expect to do this on the final exam. I don't think I have any questions involving graphing, but knowing how to graph is definitely key to answering some of the questions that will be on the exam. So this is a plus, so this means that this is an ellipse. So from this we get that the center is at 0, 1. So at 0, 1 we have our center. Because this is an ellipse, the a value is always larger. So we can see that it's paired with the x. So that means that we go 7 in either direction here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And down to negative 7. And we have that c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So c squared is equal to 40. So c is equal to the square root of 40, which is 2 root 10. So, so just a little over 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just a little bit up there. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. These are, sorry, you're 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I can't count. 1, 2, 3. So these are your co-vertices. These are your vertices. This is your center. And then a little bit over 6, that's going to be your focus. And drawing this on a computer is not fun, but actually that's not that bad. So the points, so we have the center is at 0, 1. The vertices are going to be at plus or minus 7, comma 1. The co-vertices are going to be at, we have one at 0, 4, and another one at 0, negative 2. And we have the foci, which are, because we are adding to the x values, they're going to be plus or minus 2 root 10, comma 1. And that's all we have to do there. Now here, this is a hyperbola. So we have to do a few extra things here, including finding the asymptotes. So realizing that this is over 1, the x squared, because a squared here is always first, so a is equal to 5. So b is equal to 1, and c squared is equal to 5 plus 1. So c squared is equal to 6. So c is equal to the square root of 6. So we have that the center, the center is at 0, negative 1, 2, 3. Realizing that a is paired with x, that means that this is a horizontal transverse axis. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out there. The oh, whoops. This should be 25, so that's 26. That's a little bit better. So then the foci are just a little bit out there. And then all we need are the asymptotes. So because this is horizontal, the formula for the asymptotes, this is going to be y is equal to k plus or minus b over a times x minus h. So we get y is equal to negative 3 plus or minus b over a. So this is 1/5 times x minus 0. So we actually get y is equal to negative 3 plus or minus 1/5 x. So I can write this as plus or minus 1/5 x minus 3. And so up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this, down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just like this. Okay. So then I'll do this in red. And there's our happy hyperbola. Again, these are the vertices, foci in there. We don't need to worry about the co-vertices. All right, and number 7. This is a parabola, so I see that this opens downwards. So I'm actually this is not gonna be a fun one. So I can put this into vertex form. So this is going to be y is equal to negative 2 x squared plus 12x plus blank minus 76. Remember, we factor out that negative 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. So because I added 36 in here, I have to subtract 36 times 2, but that's actually minus 72. That can't be right. definitely not right. So this should be a negative 12. So everything should be negative. So what I'm stuck on here is that if I factor out this negative 2, then I have x squared plus 12x, because the negative divided by negative is a positive. All right, so I think what's probably better because I factored out the negative from the first two. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to factor out the negative from everything. So this is going to be 2x squared plus 12x plus 76, okay? And then at the very end, I will distribute that negative in. So I get x squared plus 6x Oh, I got it. I'm all over the place today. All right, I didn't factor out the 2. So this is plus 24x. So this is plus 12x. I'm okie dokie. So now this is going to be negative 2 because in here I'm going to add 36. So that means that I'm going to subtract 2 times 36 because I have, I just added a 36 inside the parentheses and then multiply by 2. So we get x plus 6 squared plus 4. So now, yes, so now when I distribute this in, I get negative 2x plus 6 squared minus 4, and I believe, yeah, that looks better. So when dealing with this negative, be very, very careful. So I just factored out the negative from each of these terms, kind of held it off to the side, and then at the very end distributed it in. And you don't need to do that, but you know, by doing so, that means that it's easier to factor this, because I like to have this leading coefficient for a quadratic to be positive in order to factor. All right, so this means that the vertex here is going to be at negative 6, negative 4. So negative 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. It opens down, so I actually know that it has no x-intercepts. The y-intercept is at negative 76, so I got a good problem here. This is not that bad. So it's going to go down like that. Now I need the directrix and the axis of symmetry, so what I need to do is I need to take this and I need to find the p-value. So I add the 4, so I get y plus 4 is equal to negative 2x plus 6 squared. And the whole idea is that we want to turn this into standard form. And we're going to divide both sides by negative 2. So I get x plus 6 squared. I'm going to switch the sides. Is equal to negative 1/2 x plus 4. So that means that 4p is equal to negative 1/2. So p is equal to negative 1/8. So if this is our vertex and P is negative 1/8, then we have that the focus is at -6, and then we're going to add this to the y value. So this is negative 32, so negative 33/8. So just right down there, that's the focus. And then the directrix in this case is going to be a horizontal line. So the directrix is just y is equal to, this is negative 32, so this is negative 31/8, because we're adding this. Oh God, that's really bad. Let me try that again. Actually, let me cheat. Let me use my dotted line. There we go. Oh, one side has an arrow. All right, fine. This is the directrix. Okay. So make sure you're okay with fractions, but there's a lot of algebra in here, so the key is just this. And obviously, if this opened up, then we'd have some x-intercepts. So you would factor, as usual, set y equal to 0, find the x-intercepts. And we're going to end with circle. Great. So the center is at 2, 3, and the radius is equal to 2. So 2, 3, radius is 2. So there we go. And yeah, I messed up that point. Oop. Okay, that's it. So that is the final exam review for Unit J. Make sure you're really comfortable with the algebra behind these. And even though I give you the formulas, just make sure that you do know the formulas, so you don't have to rely on the formula sheet. You can just use it as a check.